East Tennessee, population 1,800, salute. I was raised by a pack of passive-aggressive women who would say things like, "Oh, you're wearing that." Again, bless your heart. We were a non-confrontational sort. We dealt with conflict the correct way. When someone was aggressive with you, you played the victim and talked about it later. Appropriately, behind their backs. This did not prepare me well for life. It did, however, prepare me very much for the restaurant industry. Yes, ma'am, no, sir, my pleasure. So in the early 90s, I found myself in Washington, D.C. working at the Daily Grill on Connecticut Avenue. You know this? Which is basically a Fridays for people who make over $100,000. And I used to wait on a bunch of 30-something-year-olds who were living the life that I was promised. One particular Saturday night, well, Saturdays were long because I worked in the bar area, and I would come in at 3, and we would give last call at 12. And I had been running around all that whole time, without a break, without dinner. I had an apron on that had food all over it, and I was very happy. We had just given last call. So I'd gone around to all my tables, told them last call. And that's when these two ladies walked in. Now these two ladies, they were dressed for business. So they looked like they had been on a work function and then gone drinking and then just continued to drink. They kind of staggered in. And they slid into one of my tables, and I went over and I was like, "Hi, I'm really sorry, but we've already given last call." And she said, no. I need a drink. I said, "Well, let me talk to the bartender." So I ran over to the bartender. I pointed them out. I said, "Can we do it for him?" And he's like, "No. Last call. It's been given." So I go back over and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really sorry. I can't get you those drinks." And she looks at me and she says, "Well, I guess you're just useless." And at that point, I was tired and I was hungry and I'd worked all day, and I thought she'd crossed the line. So I was going to cross the line. And I said, "You know what? In all my years of waiting tables, you have to be the rudest person I've ever met." I thought that was it. I thought I had crossed the line. She rears back and says, "You think I care what you think about me, you silly faggot? You're probably just jealous because I get more dick than you." Oh. Faggot. Are we in the 3rd grade again? That word used to mean something when I was in the 3rd grade, when they yelled it at me in gym class. That word meant something to me when the frat boys yelled at me in college. That word meant something to me when my uncle used it at the Thanksgiving table after I'd come out to the family. But you know what? I moved to the big city. I found out who I was. I met people like me. I learned to love myself and love who I am and who I love. And you think you're going to come in to my house and your drunk ass and use that word and break my face? You've got another thing coming. And let me tell you something, so you will know. And one day your children will know. I'm getting all the dick I want. That's right. That's exactly what I wish I had said. What really happened is I became that 19-year-old kid on campus, moving into a dorm with my sister and my mother on a carload of frat boys drive by and scream, "Go home, faggot." And I have to pretend it didn't happen. And I have to look in the face of my family, the people who love me, and see the shame. That's what happened. And I just stood there. And she started to walk right past me. And something in me snapped. I started to follow her without a plan. As she slid into the revolving door, I slid into the same compartment with her and I stopped it. I had her trapped. And years of being bullied and called names and feeling bad about myself and self-loathing, it just all came pouring out of me onto her. "Don't you ever come into this restaurant again, you're banned for life." I kept saying that over and over. And I got, you know when you get so angry you start to cry? And my mother used to call it the hitches. And when I had finished with her, I turned to go. Clearly, I had not thought this through. These things do not go backwards. She leaned into me, she said, "Watch this." And she starts to slap the glass, going, "Help, help, he's trying to kill me, he's trying to kill me." And people from the bar have started to come up and stand around the revolving door and watch this. And I push at her, and she pushes back at me, and I push at her, and she pushes back at me. And finally, with one big heave, I push, and the door, it spins around, and we both fall flat onto the sidewalk out of Connecticut. I jump up and run back into the restaurant. Run back to the manager's office where he's counting money, and I'm like, we have a situation in the bar. First of all, this woman, she called me a faggot. And he said, "Well, that's just unacceptable. Is she still here?" I'm like, "I think she's here." He said, "Well, I'll go talk to her and straighten this out." It seems like I trapped her in the revolving door and banned her for life. And he just sighs. So I go back out to my station. Now, this whole incident has stopped the dining room. So I look at my tables are throwing the money at me. They're so happy for me. And then he comes over, the manager comes over, and he places himself so his back is to her, and he's facing me, and he starts going like this. "She's not going to leave until I fire you, so this is me firing you, so I want you to look really unhappy and take your apron off and storm off to the back of the kitchen." I'm like, really? This is how this is going to play out? So I do it. I take off my apron and storm off. The next day, I come in and I have a little meeting with the general manager. He seems to think that my actions were not that hospitable.